Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you real soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you, and I think I have to listen, because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day. My beginning will be
Along
as
a
bright
toddler
as
has
the
been missing
sun.
in Savannah.
And as you come around, and it feels so right, it's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart, doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give, something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now I know. Baby, baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give, something's telling me it's right. When you came to me, oh I knew it's you, yeah, boy.
Where is Cody?
Hey family, how's everybody doing? Come on in, you guys. Come right on in. I'm sorry I'm a little late. I was asleep. Oh my goodness, I've been working around the clock. Tonight's my last night that I gotta work. Well, I do gotta work the weekend, but I'm off tomorrow. So I'm gonna give me plenty of rest. But you know what? I was going to work yesterday. And we came on and did a live early yesterday morning because I just wanted to, I miss you guys sometime. Plus, there's something's going on. And we're staying on this case for a little bit. But I wanted to try something new, and I was like, okay, we're gonna pick up something else, and we was gonna have something new come Wednesday. But to my beknowns, or I was getting in my car to go to work, and I got a phone call, and my girlfriend said, "Guess what?" I said, "What?" She said, "Girl, they just arrested the husband." Girl, you're the best. Whoa. I woke the guy and said, I went to sleep too, SB. I was looking crazy. Girl, doing homework and trying to work. Oh my goodness. And then around, yesterday I cleaned up the house yesterday. So I was sleeping it off because I was doing some deep diving cleaning in the bathroom, in the kitchen, and got some trash up out the house. But I needed it because you seen earlier, I was talking to Woke the guy, and I was having a sneezing episode again. And that's what happens to me. She said, I told Joe that he gonna get caught. Ain't got it good. Ain't God good? So they're not really speaking about a lot of, how they caught him and what did he have on him and all that. But I'll share with you guys what they're saying. They said the husband of a Bronx daycare owner was caught by authorities in Mexico. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Trust me, I'm still washing stuff, trying to get the dust out of the house. And yeah, people like, oh, your eyes are red. No, my eyes are not red. That's just the way I look when I don't get a lot of sleep. Because it definitely ain't drugs, okay? I wish it was, but I gotta retire for that. I'm just being honest, okay? Don't get mad. I'm just being honest. But anyway, so we're gonna take a quick live reel right now. I'm just gonna share this information. You guys, we can all be happy together. I know when we get happy, we don't stay on long, but when we mad, we be wanting to write a book. But I just don't have time because I've been happy all. I can sleep. But I'm telling you, they said it's more to come. So this is what it's saying. The husband of the Bronx daycare owner was caught by authorities in Mexico. Accordingly to multiple law enforcement sources, almost 2 weeks removed from being seen on security cameras, fleeing the scene where a 1-year-old suffered a deadly fentanyl overdose. 3 sources told the news the man was arrested by Mexican police and Drug Enforcement Administration. He was arrested by the Mexican police and Drug Enforcement Administration agent while on a bus. He was on a bus headed to the state of Sinaloa. Now, Sinaloa is already in Mexico. Sinaloa. By the U.S. Marshals assisted in the arrest. So they seen him coming, you guys. They seen him coming. So the husband, who was not immediately identified, but was married to the daycare owner, Gary Mendez, traveled from New York to Texas, and authorities started tracking him from the border, according to a federal law enforcement official with direct knowledge of the investigation. The arrest just comes days after a third person, a suspected drug dealer, was apprehended. We talked about this the other day in connection with the death of 1-year-old Nicholas Dominica. His name was Rennie Paredes. He worked in concert and supplied. This is what that third person so the husband is the fourth person and Rennie is the third person. So they say, this is what they said about Rennie. Anytime we get any information that tells us about these characters, then we can have a full, conversation. Rennie worked in concert and supplied the materials and drugs to those involved in the trafficking at the Kingsbridge building, the senior law enforcement officials told. Paredes was charged with 1 count of conspiracy to distribute narcotics resulting in death. He said, I promised last week that we would continue to work to bring these involved in the child poisoning at Divino Nino daycare to justice. Since then, this office and our law enforcement partners have worked around the clock to identify and apprehend additional individuals who are responsible, said U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. Damian Williams, today's arrest is one more step towards obtaining justice for this child victim of this horrendous offense and their families. According to the criminal complaint, Paradis conspired with Mendez and Carlesto Alvito Brento, among others, to distribute fentanyl at places, including the daycare, where they kept large amounts of the narcotics. If convicted, Paradis faces a minimum of 20 years behind bars and could serve life in prison. Last week, the search warrants led police detectives to a new discovery inside the daycare center, a floor trap door of drugs. NYPD detectives found the trap door beneath the floor where kids slept, according to police. Underneath the wooden trap door, several feet wide in each direction. Police shared photos of the fentanyl, other narcotics, and paraphernalia found inside. Law enforcement also found materials used to packaging narcotics, such as glass ends, envelopes used for retail distribution of drugs, which have been stamped in red with the words Red Dawn. So, you guys, let's get off into a little bit of conversation. That is what we're talking about. That is the newest information that I just read to you was about 20 hours ago. But hold on. So this is the 1 hour ago. This is what this is saying. A third person has been charged in the death who was exposed. A third person who being charged in the death of 1-year-old child who was exposed to fentanyl along the 3 days. The case sparked national outcry after Nicholas. Okay, so traffickers often hide. Okay. Rennie Paradis. They're just talking about Rennie Paradis. They just put this out. That's one thing you can. I'm seeing if there's anything else. If you don't know what we're talking about, let me give you a little recap real quick. On September the 15th, police was called to the daycare center and found an 8-month-old girl and 2 boys, 1 and 2, unconscious. First responders administered Narcan to all 3 children after it was determined they were exhibiting signs of a drug overdose. So sometimes we are like, what? Why would they distribute Narcan? Because that's just kind of weird to me. Like, you go on the scene and the kids is like all lethargic, and people's like, oh, it was their pupils. What do you mean? They can't see their pupils. Their eyes is closed. They're not opening up their eyes. So people's like, well, what signs and symptoms do a child have? Not waking up, whatever. So could have been there was gas in the house or something? Because that's how they went in there. But it's funny how, okay, after they found the fentanyl and the machines and stuff, they knew it was fentanyl. So anyway, it is weird because I just had this situation, but we were outside. We wasn't in the building. But when the EMS got there, and maybe our EMS is not as skilled and as these, because when you deal with it for all the time, you're going to probably know when you see it. I didn't know when I seen it. I was like, I'm thinking the guy was just either had a heart attack or he was drunk or something. I didn't even know he was our resident. I thought he was a homeless person. But yesterday, I was just saying, because I did, I told you guys, I do my research so I can understand this stuff. It's going to make me a better person. And then not only that, you guys understand what I'm saying or not understand what I'm saying, but I will understand what I'm saying when I'm speaking on something. Because who wants to speak on something and not know what they're talking about? So, like I said, I am waiting on a package. It haven't came yet. And it's actually coming from New York that they not give you the Narcan spray, but they give you the Narcan shot. And if you use it, like I said, you got to watch this video. You got to answer 4 questions, and they will send it to you. I'm not going to put out that information where to get it if you want to get it until I get it, because I don't want to tell people, "Oh yeah, I got it. Where at?" That's your next question, right? Your next question is, where'd you get it? And I'm giving you other people's web addresses. Let's see if they're going to do what they say. When they give it to me, I'll be like, y'all, guess what? If you want some Narcan, just because you're on the subway or you're on the bus, you're taking some public transportation somewhere, or you're walking your dog, or you're at the store and something happened and you don't know, hey, it's always good to just watch this 1-minute video. And it is very education. You know what I found out? I already knew this, but it just stayed with me more information. Like, say, for instance, somebody passed out, but we don't know. What if you give it to them? You're going to be thinking, I want to give it to them and it hurts them or whatever. What am I giving them or whatever? Hey, it's best to give it to them than to not give it to them. It's the difference is life and death. It does not hurt a person to give it to them. Ooh, steak, potato, and cornbread, cherry Kool-Aid. Get out of here. We're having pork chop, green bean, and mashed potato. I don't know if I'm going to mash the potatoes or not. That's a little bit too much work. I made chicken salad yesterday, but today is pork chop day. Once a week, it's pork chop day. Yeah. Anyway, so I want to read this to you guys. See, and this right here, they're not telling us the date, the time, but it says that, the 2 other children recovered, and then another 2-year-old boy from the daycare was checked into the Bronx Care Hospital after his mother noticed he was lethargic and unresponsive and recovered after being administered Narcan. See, this is what I'm saying. The daycare center had passed 3 routine checks by the health department, including an unannounced check. They also confirmed they had received no complaints from the community related to drug transactions at that center. Okay, they're seeing some stuff I didn't never hear. Fentanyl extreme strength means even a tiny amount could cause the death of a child who came into contact with it. Okay. Fentanyl is 50 to 100 times more potent than heroin, which is in itself more potent than most prescription opioids. It takes only just a tiny little bit. It's like you see something on the kitchen counter, like a little crumb, not even a crumb, really, like 1/10 of a crumb. That's all it takes to kill a child and to send them into respiratory distress. And it becomes unresponsive very quickly, they say. So, yeah, you guys. This stuff is not good. Anyway, let me read and see what you guys are saying, and we're going to get out of here. Lisa, is very good. The dumplings are thin, not thick. Okay. Sounds good. Sharing is caring. Thank you for sharing. I just made some homemade chicken and dumplings. Okay. Chicken and dumplings. Oh, girl. I was going to make that. Okay. Tina says, I'm so happy that the babies are going to finally get their justice released. That's what I keep praying for. Justice, peace for the family. Well, God says, I'm here, SP, trying to finish my homework. Girl, I'm doing good. So anyway, you guys, that's really all I had. I'm so happy But until they start talking, we still, I don't want to put nothing in nobody's mouth, say something that's not so or true. Crazy. Oh, they got this thing here. Nicki Minaj's husband placed on house arrest. Oh, great. And I know you guys are following that blue face girl, the girl, girl Sean. I mean, she's gonna blow up. Krishan, she's gonna blow up. She ain't already blowed up. She's blowing up. And y'all like stuff like that, like crying all the time, drama, talking crap, fighting all the time. Now she done had a baby by Blueface doing things, then showed the baby's penis on social media. She's crying about that. She got her own place. She paying like $20,000-$30,000 a month to stay in a place. But he say it takes $10,000 for child support. But he made Krishan that she don't have to depend on him. I know you guys are following Krishan. I like watching it, but it's not realistic. But I mean, it's good. Sometimes it's good to watch other people have problems. Okay, that's all we have. Let me see if there's anything else. Okay, here's somebody else. Third person in charge. Here's one with they now got pictures of the husband leaving. When they said something about the husband having these 2 trash bags full of stuff, I thought it was gonna be big trash bags, but they're little bitty like Dylan bags. Let me see if they got anything in this report. You got to look at every report. Paradis Mendez and Brento worked together to deal drugs, and they kept a kilogram of fentanyl at the daycare center of children sleeping mats. Investigators found traps or hidden compartments in the floor. All 4 children are believed to have suffered poison. Fentanyl is a poison synthetic opioid that is used to treat severe pain when it is used legally. But the drug is based or mixed with other drugs like heroin, and it is the driven force to the opioid crisis and the rise in overdose deaths. That's all. They're not saying anything else. They just said, hey, yeah, the husband has been arrested. I just want you guys to know. I'm trying to make sure, did we get all the information? So his name is Felix Garcia. So Felix Hanera Garcia, husband of Gray Mendez, was on a bus in the city of Sinaloa when he was taken into custody by Mexican authorities and U.S. drug enforcement agents. Garcia, who was allegedly seen on surveillance video running from the daycare center with plastic bags that investigators believe contained fentanyl after the children fell unconscious, is in the custody of the U.S. Marshals, who will be handling his extradition to New York. So Garcia, along with the 3 other arrests as part of the alleged conspiracy, Mendez, Calesto Alvido, and Rini Antonio Pardes, were all said to be mid-level Oh my goodness. They were just mid-level drug distributing, a federal law enforcement official previously told. Wow. So that's something new. They're not the big dog. They're mid-level drug distributors. And Woke to God and we were talking about that. Like she said, and I said, I was in agreement with her. If they had they making phone calls and touched it, hey, they not the big ones. They not the big ones. They ain't got the big ones. So somebody gonna be doing some talking. Somebody gonna get paid to take the deal and go to jail. Okay. I want to read some, keep you guys remembering that the first child went to the hospital at 12:15, private transportation to the hospital. They didn't get the call until around 2:30 on September the 15th. That's when they discovered that the children unconscious, first responders. And then all 3 children to reverse the overdose. They was given the Narcan. And 2 children survived, but the third, identified as 1-year-old Nicholas Dominica, he died. Okay. So, and then it says another child, a 2-year-old, that's what I was telling you guys about, was taken to the hospital after they were picked up by their parents. That child was also treated for exposure to the high potent drug. But see, that's what they're not telling you. When that child was picked up earlier, that child went to the hospital at 12:15. Why would you drop your kid off at like 8 and pick him up at 10, 11? Come on, y'all. Make it make sense. Them kids was already going through some kind of withdrawals, signs and symptoms, and they was trying to get the kids out of there. And you know what they should have did? They should have put, you know what I would have done? I'm going to just say this real quick. I would have put all them kids on a cart and hauled them butts out of there. I don't care what it looked like when I got outside, but I would have hauled all them kids out. And wouldn't have told the neighbors. What I would have said to the neighbors is, I think I got a gas leak. You know what I'm saying? I think I got a gas leak, so I got to get these kids where they got to go, and then I'm going to have a professional come in here and check it out. That's what I would have told the neighbors. I would have just took the kids out of the building. You can think of a lie later. Why keep the kids in the freaking building with more exposure, not making a phone call to 911? And I'm going to say this. We all make bad decisions. We make mistakes. But at the time, this young lady named Gray, this happened to her kid. She got a 2-year-old. This happened to her 2-year-old 2 years ago of an overdose of fentanyl. So this woman didn't learn nothing with her own kid. So what made you think that she was going to treat your kid even better? People be like, oh, SP. So now you're trying to say she did have a daycare? I told you, this never was a daycare. I didn't believe it was a daycare. And, it was a front to the people that don't know, but it wasn't designed to be no daycare. People wasn't dropping off their kids so she can get a little check. Because, her attorney is sitting there saying she's being convicted for somebody else's, problem and somebody else's, unworthy. She was a business lady that had $100 in her bank account. She might got $100 in her bank account because you guys know, and y'all ain't nobody stupid. These kids, you know what's so funny about it? Just because they 31, 32, 33, my kids is 31, 32, 33, 34 years old. They're still kids to me. So these kids, they get 30-something, they have a kid, and they be thinking, I'm smart. Okay, ain't nothing new under the sun. You sitting there telling that bald-faced lie, talking about this was your husband's cousin, and you just rented him a room for $200. You only have $100 in your bank account, and you just wanted to be a business person and start this daycare. Honey, you've been selling drugs from that spot. That spot is hot, and the neighbors know it. And when they get done with going through these phones, everybody's phone, you know what I would be doing? I would have been already talking, making a deal. Yep, don't go doing nothing with me, because I would tell you guys. I'm gonna tell you something. Check this out. Let's speak on something real quick, because I'm going through something at work. So I love to always share something with you. So I've got a CMA. She's a med aid. You know, in order to be a med aid, you have to first be a CNA, and then you can take the test, go to school for about a week or two, or maybe for 2-3 weeks. I think it's 4 weeks at the most. Take a test, and it's only but like 10-20 questions, and you get so many. You can take all the chances you want. Go to a clinical. I don't know. They do it. They do some really crazy, stupid stuff now. And then you become a med aid. And so, and it's a good thing. It's all good. Okay. So there's this med aid that they always call. She be working double. She be working 24 hours. She goes home, gets some sleep. She come back. But at a certain time through the night, I go to work at 6. At a certain time through the night, all the medications are supposed to be distributed by 10 o'clock. When 10 o'clock comes, she's no longer a med aid. She's supposed to get on the floor and help. For a whole year, I hadn't seen this girl on the floor. I seen her in a car. I seen her in it. I had the one time something was going on because the patient said they didn't get their meds and they wanted them. They was getting irate. And I'm trying to find this girl, and the car was out there, and I was like, well, dang, where is she at? So I went outside, and I was like, I knocked on the window, and she raised up. And I was like, hey, I need to ask you a question. She was like, yes, ma'am. I said, did you give such and such a medication or whatever? She was like, yes, ma'am. Yes, I did. So anyway, this girl never been on the floor. She give the meds, but then, if you got said, oh, I'm supposed to have 2 CNAs on the floor, I haven't been having to it. So I'm looking at them like, this ain't done, that ain't done, this ain't done. I said, we only got 1 CNA. They was like, no, you don't. You got a floater. At 10 o'clock, she gets on the floor. I said, when? At 10 o'clock. I said, what year are you talking about? Because I ain't seen her. And I said, well, the reason why she was the employee of the month. And so here's the thing. So they was like, oh, well, we're going to change that or something. Let me tell you something. People know. People know. And now that there is new administrator, we'll see a little change. But so yesterday I went to work, and she mean mugging me now. She mean mugging me like, oh, you told on me. Girl, I ain't no kid. I didn't tell on you. Hell, let me tell you right now, I'm not in agreement with you. When they ask me why something wasn't done, I'm going to say, where's my help? You want me to sit there and say, my bad, I went and checked everybody. I ain't got time to check, because what you hired me to do, I can't do. I got to get on the floor and have the one aide that we do got that's doing something. I'm literally on the floor being CNA. Yes, I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying, if that med aide thought I was going to chew that up and be like, my bad, this wasn't done, that wasn't done, this wasn't done, and you're over them. I'm over what? They come and go when they want. They don't call me when they don't come in. I don't know nothing about if they show up or don't show up. Hey, they clock in and clock out when they do. And at 10 o'clock, I don't know where she be at. So, and I said something. Yes, I did. I didn't say something like, hey, check this out. No, don't come to me talking about this didn't get done. This didn't get done. And it's a hot mess. Y'all had 12 hours. I said, we sent someone to the hospital. We've got one CNA. We got to feed. We got to lay people to bed. We got to change. We got to reposition. And then you got all the little knicks-knacks. Then you got certain resident that sits there right at the nurse's desk. Can I get some water? Can you put my sock on? Can I get some water? Can I get some meds? Could you call my mom? Could you lay me down? Can I get some more water? And this is not one resident, this more. So what I'm saying to you guys, this CNA wanted me to not say anything. I said she is one of their favorites. If I would have took her to clock out, they would have been looking at me like, what the heck you think you're doing? You can't come in here running things, running people off. Our best workers, they made her employee of the month. I told you guys. Oh, yeah. Anyway, that's what it is. But anyway, what I'm saying is when people start getting in trouble, I just told you, don't even think I'm in agreement with you when you're doing something dirty, wrong, bad, or whatever. If you think you think I'm going to sit there because y'all got a click or y'all CNAs talk to each other and I want to be liked, I don't care. Baby girl, you will not sit there and tell me that I do my job inefficiently because you go somewhere and go to sleep, or you go home and nobody knows, or you just don't even help. And she doesn't like it on my unit, so she likes the other unit. So guess what this morning? So, the nurse supposed to pass meds at midnight, and the nurse supposed to pass meds at 6 o'clock. Now, like I said, at come 10 o'clock at night, she gets back on the floor and be a CNA. I see her over there at 6 o'clock in the morning passing the nurse's med. That nurse get lost too. They like that nurse. But she making sure that they look good so they passing their meds. Girl, bye. You know what the Lord say? If you follow someone of that nature, you both is going to fall in the ditch. The blind leading the blind. Anyway, you guys, this is what I'm saying is going to happen in this case. Somebody's going to talk because not everybody wants to lose their kid. Not everybody wants to be known as drug dealers. And not everybody wants to lose their life in prison for the rest of their life. So you're going to have people talk. I am so surprised that them workers that they call daycare workers. Okay, come on. There wasn't really such a thing called daycare workers. They were, official drug employees. Drug employees. Hub drug employees. Okay, that's what they were doing. Anyway, I'm going to tell you something. They did it in the right state. Because they got that one police officer. I think he's the chief. His name is Grady something. I don't know if he's in Florida or California or Florida. But every time when he catch a criminal, he gets on the social media and he gets to talking about him. He said, this is what happened, y'all. I love him. They better be glad they wasn't in this state, because he would be trying to throw the book at you. He'll tell you what's what. And I just love him. I really do. I see him sometimes. He just got through, was explaining about this 15-year-old boy that was found dead in the driveway. His mama didn't know that he had got up in the middle of the night when she went to bed, and his friend picked him up. And he's a known gangbanger. He's supposed to be in school, and he was on probation. So one guy, they all knew the guy across the street. He sold marijuana, and he knew people. He had connection. So the lady across the street, she wanted to buy a gun, so they hooked up this one guy named Kwan, and Kwan went over there to her, sold her a gun for $200. They talked later on. So Kwan was like, "Can I come over, hit that, come back over? I want to talk to you, girl." She said, "Yeah." So they went over to her house. He picked up Shaquan or whatever, Quan, whatever. You guys got to go check it out, because this is what just happened. And so Shaquan is the 15-year-old boy. And so he got out the car. They're trying to say he thought he went next across the street to go get some weed. But no, the girl was in the car. She said things, the conversation wasn't going right. So Shaquan opened up the door, tried to grab her purse, because they know that she not only just wanted to buy a gun, she sell drugs. She sells the hard stuff, the big stuff, So she wasn't letting go of her purse. So remember, Laquan had sold her a gun earlier. So what happened? She pulls out the gun and shoots Shaquan. Whatever. And so, anyway, the girl, she bounced. She leaves the place because she don't want to have nothing to do with it. They find the people they find Shaquan in the in the driveway, been laying there for hours. They call his mama. She was like, "I thought he was in the bed asleep." And so, whatever. Anyway, all that stuff happened. So the lady across the street that pulled the gun and shot Shaquan, whatever, she comes back home 2 or 3 days later. They pick her up, and she's like, "I was getting robbed." And did I not say that the gun that she was buying was stolen, which the person that stole it, he was going to court, or they were already looking at him in a burglary. And so Grady said, because I love this guy, I don't have to go look up the news report or anything. He just explains it all to you. And it's like, wow, he just gets right to the meat and potatoes. And he says, none of them works a job. So you got the man across the street. You got the one that's selling the drugs. You got the lady that live across the street. It was 5 people in all. But then you got the kid, the 15-year-old, 4 people. I think it was 5. Somebody else was in. There was an older guy in the equation also. But yeah, I wish he was handling this, case. It was in his district, so we can just sit back and just. I love how he breaks it down. I've never seen another police officer breaks down stuff like that. And if you're waiting to hear something about Jacqueline and Trezell, Woke to God just messaged me and said, in the Classic and Sincere case, in the California City Boys case, there was a continuance. So they did not give them their sentence, okay? There's a continuance. So we were waiting on that. That ain't going to happen. All right, you guys, I'm finna get off here. I know it was late, and that's what happens when we're late. If you guys, and I've been waiting to see if you guys got something to talk about, if you had a question or you wanted, something or whatever. But you guys was talking about chicken, and y'all done made me hungry. All right, you guys, be good, be safe, be nice to each other.
it.